morning, children. Hope you're all doing good. So today we are going to see the second unit, that is cell, the basic unit of life. Okay, cell, the basic unit of life. So in the first unit we have left the scientific method, which we will do it experimentally when you come to the school. So I thought that it would be practically better rather than explaining it. So we will switch on to the second unit, that is cell, the basic unit of life. Okay, if you see the word, see, if I ask you a question, what are the organisms which you see on the earth, immediately the answer which comes out of your mind is human beings, animals, birds and insects. So are there any other organisms other than this? The immediate answer will be no. So it is said that our earth is a beautiful place with so many microorganisms, okay, so many insects, so many birds, so many animals, human beings, right? They survive. And even you can see beautiful plants in the forest, in our gardens you can see beautiful plants, you can see so many insects coming and sitting on the flowers. So when you look at this world, you see it's absolutely beautiful and fantastic. And if you observe the fishes, your aquariums or under the sea, there are so many beautiful fishes which are living under the water in the aquariums. So we feel that, wow, what a beautiful world is around us, isn't it? So now you know what are all these organisms made up of. So if I ask you a question, that what are you made up of, right? What are you made up of? So what will be the answer? I'm made up of a skeleton, like flesh, muscle, like bones. So this is the answer which comes from our mouth. But what are these organs made up of? So the answer will be cell. The answer will be cell. So cell, we say that it is the basic unit of our life, because that is the first thing which develop in the womb of a mother before we are found. So the one particular cell that will divide into two, and these two cells divide into four, and these four cells divide into 8. Like this, they go on dividing until a complete human body is formed. It is same with the different organisms which are living on the earth. Is it clear, children? So now an organism is formed only because of a single cell, or you can say from the single cell, and that's the reason why we are calling the cell as the basic unit of our life. So now, if this is a question, if this is a base for our lesson, then who discovered the cell? How scientists were able to say that all the human beings or animals and plants are made up of the cells? So before 350 years ago, before the microscope was invented, you all know what is microscope, we usually see in our lab. So the microscope will magnify the object so many times so that you can see even the tiny particles, isn't it? So to observe a cell, what you need is a microscope. Okay, and if you might have seen the slides in our labs and all. So once the slide will be very small, but once you keep under the microscope, the thing which you're seeing on the slide will be more and more magnified so that you can see very clearly. It will be visible to your eyes. So there are so many things which are not visible to our naked eyes. There are so many things around us which are not visible to our naked eyes, isn't it? So to observe them, a lot of scientists use the microscope. So among them, there are so many scientists. Among them, there are some scientists: Athanasius Kircher. Second one is Jan Swammerdam. Third one is Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. Fourth one is Robert Hooke. So many scientists, they have contributed towards the cell, to know about the cell. So out of them, these are the four very important people. Right, so we all know that our human body can perform several activities. There are not many activities which a human body will perform. So if I ask you, what are the different activities which are performed by the human body? So you'll tell circulation, excretion, respiration, control and coordination, okay, and digestion, whatnot. Several processes you will tell me. So now, if I ask you, what is a basic structural unit of that organ? For example, if you tell me the lungs are a very important source for respiration, then if I ask you, what are lungs made up of? So there'll be no answer. So each and every organ in our body is made up of what? Cell. So cell will form each and every structure in our body. That's the reason why cell is also called as structural unit of our body. So it is not only the basic unit of life, it is a structural unit of our body also. So now, who laid the foundation? So there was a scientist who is called as Anton van Leeuwenhoek. So now let me share a small story with you. So this Anton van Leeuwenhoek, he used to work near a merchant who deals with fabric, who deals with the clothes. So Anton van Leeuwenhoek, he used to sit with him and learn the work. So one day what happened? Anton van Leeuwenhoek, so let me clarify you this one. So they always check the quality of the cloth. So the merchant who deals with this, so he's a cloth merchant, so he always deals with the quality of the cloth and all. Then he has a magnifying glass in his hand, and then always he looks the cloth and looks the quality of the cloth with the magnifying glass. You all know that if you take a magnifying glass, you can see the object so many times bigger than what it is. So in the same way, he used to see it, and then he used to check the quality of that. And one day, this man has gone out and asked Anton van Leeuwenhoek to check the quality of the cloth. So now this boy, he sat down and he started looking into the quality of the cloth, and within no time his mind started diverting into several things, and then he started looking the other objects also, and they were looking much bigger than what the actual size is. So then immediately, because of his thoughts and all, because of his scientific thinking, he made a small microscope which magnified the object. So when he thought that, okay, this is the right thing, then he took so many things and observed under the microscope. He observed the leaves, he observed the water, he observed blood, he observed the urine, he observed faces and whatnot. He studied everything, and then when he observed all these things, he saw some tiny organisms which are not visible to our naked eye are present in them. If you look the water like this, can you see anything in them? No, we cannot see anything in them. But here, this Anton van Leeuwenhoek was able to see some organisms which are very, very, very small, which are not visible to our naked eye, isn't it? So that gave the base for the discovery of the bacteria. So Anton van Leeuwenhoek is the first person to discover the bacteria. So he discovered the bacteria, and this discovery has led to a great thing. So today we are able to say that the COVID-19, it's a virus. So that's only because of the base of the Anton van Leeuwenhoek, who introduced the very, very tiny organisms to the world. He said that we are not only the living organisms living in the world, but there are some tiny, tiny organisms which are not visible to our naked eye are also living with us. So we have seen how Anton van Leeuwenhoek, he discovered the bacteria, protozoa, yeast. He observed the blood cells, he observed the droplets of water, and laid a foundation for the study of the cell. So he observed not only the living organisms, but also he observed so many non-living organisms under the microscope. So now, how was this cell discovered? So Anton van Leeuwenhoek, he told about the bacteria, protozoa, yeast, and all the other microorganisms. He called them as very, very, very tiny microorganisms which are living around us, along with us, among us. So how the discovery of cell happened? So it was in the year 1665. In the year 1665, there was a scientist who is named as Robert Hooke, whose name is Robert Hooke, and he is a British scientist. He is a British scientist, and now he made a microscope for himself. He made it himself, and then he took a cork. From the oak tree, the dried cork from an oak tree, and then he observed this cork under the microscope. So when he observed this cork under the microscope, he felt that it is just like a honeycomb. So you all know how the honeycomb will be, the structure of the honeycomb will be. So the structure of the honeycomb will be like this. Can you see on the board? So that is how you can see some empty spaces in that, isn't it? There are some empty spaces. So those all empty spaces, no, he called them as cell. What he called them as? Cell. Cell is a Latin word which actually means little room. What is cell? What is the meaning of cell? Cell is a Latin word which means what? Little room. So that is how the foundation was laid to the discovery of the cell. So if a honeycomb has that particular cell, that means that particular small piece of cork has cells. Okay, so that means the cork is made up of cells. So just assume that each and every organism has organs, and if you take that organ and check it out, even that will be made up of cells. That means our whole human body is made up of cells. If you take the insects, if you take the fishes, if you take the animals and whatnot, each and every organism is made up of cells. So that is the reason why we call the cell as the basic unit of life, isn't it? So now we can do this experiment on ourselves. So what is the experiment which we can do here? We can do an experiment on ourselves. So let's do a small experiment to know and to see the cells also. So for us, it will be a bit difficult to get a cork and observe into the microscope. So what we'll do is we'll take a matchstick. What we'll take? We'll take a matchstick using a blade or using a very surgical blades and all. So what we'll do is we'll try to take a slice of the cork, a thin layer of the matchstick. So if you take that layer of matchstick and keep it on a slide and put some water on that, and then put a cover slit on that. You know what is a cover slit? It's a glass, like a tiny glass like thing. This is a slide. Okay, we'll place the slice of the matchstick on this, and then we'll put a drop of water. Okay, and then we'll put the cover slit on that. And if you observe the slide under the microscope, you can see some rectangular shaped cells, and all these rectangular shaped cells are nothing but the cells. So that is how we can also observe the cells under the microscope. So this is the base for the foundation of the cell. So Robert Hooke, he laid a very beautiful foundation for the history of science to know about the cells. So now this matchstick is a dead cell, the cork is a dead cell. Now a question may arise that if it is a living organism, how the cell will be, how the cell inside the body will look like. So all these questions we will see it in our next class. Okay, until then, see you all, take care.